Okay, hi everybody. Whoa, I need time to process. Okay, I did Fate, Stay Night on the Bricks for episode 1. And I did Soma. That's gonna be uploaded shortly. But this High School DxD Born. This episode is too ridiculous to be a first episode. That's just my take on it. It's way too crazy. Way too crazy. First of all, the episode is called Summer Vacation, Let's Go to the Underworld. Who says that shit? But essentially how this episode starts, I mean, come on. What did you expect a DxD episode to start? Except with boobs. But, yeah, basically, he's having a dream about everybody. You know, Rias, Akano, Asha, Zeno. I just call it Zeno. Um, and what's her face? Kaneko. And then he sees Yuma, and then it turns into like a bad dream, and he wakes up from it. And we have this tussle of boobs between Akano, and Rias, and it's just. But see, what's really weird about this episode is like the first half is really just joking around, but in the second half it gets serious, big time. Now they renovated his house. They made it into like a fucking 3-story luxury hotel or some shit. It was too ridiculous what Rias did. But you see that this was weird in this episode because it seems like Issei's keep having these dreams about Yuma, the girl he liked who tried to kill him from season 1. And I'm thinking to myself, why? It's very strange how they did that. But eventually what ends up happening is Rias tells them that she's going to go for the summer vacation to her home, the Underworld, Grimmery Estate. And they all decide to go with her. They go on a train to the Underworld. You know, like it's a train to the Underworld. You know, and you got this like kind of weird. They're in like this subspace kind of thing where it's purple everywhere, and they go taking a train there. And they meet up with the president of the student council, vice president, and that other guy. They say their goodbyes, and what ends up happening? Oh, I forgot. You can't. Azazel's there. Oh yeah. Here's the leader of the fallen demons, of fallen angels. Yeah, he's there too. But here's the thing about this episode that made me go like, what? This whole thing going on is he's while they're on the train, he says the big boys are there. Now we don't know what that means, but names were dropped in this episode that I thought, what does that mean? Asgard. Asgard? So, and they're explaining to Issei and everybody else in there that there are more different angels. It's not just fallen angels, demons, and angels. No, there's Olympus and Asgard. And I'm like, what? What? There are others? Hell, you know his name dropped in this episode? Loki. What next? We're going to see Odin and Thor? I was freaking out. But essentially what happens is they're told all this. And as you know, Volley. That's the guy's name. Volley. Albion. Yeah, that's hype. This whole thing reason they're really going to the Underworld is this meeting is taking place for the anti-terrorism against that group. The group that Volley's part of. The name eludes me, unfortunately. But what ends up happening is the train just ejects them. Literally, that's what happens. It ejects them from the train, and they fall down, and they go to this area in Demon World. And they encounter this thing. And he feel these vibrations and whatnot, and they see this dragon-looking creature who they end up fighting. What really threw me off about this whole situation when they're fighting it, Rias isn't there, and basically Akano, she takes over and gives them orders to fight it. And it was all training. Yeah, all training exercise. And apparently we were informed by Grimoire, Issei's dragon from the sacred gear, that he didn't tell him that because he wouldn't, whatever. But basically this dragon that attacked him, he wasn't even using tenth of his power. Right. So basically Azazel says basically this was training exercise, blah, blah, blah. Also, something is going on with not Akano, but Konekiko. I can't even say that name correctly. I apologize. And we find out why later on. But she's saying something's up with her. And then we get a scene. We got obviously this other scene with Azazel and Issei. They're talking about boobs. They're talking about boobs in a way like, it's your destiny or it's weird. But essentially, we find out what was really going on because we get a scene with this woman and this guy. And they're part of the group that Vali's part of. And she mentions Loki. I'm like, Loki's name. And then she mentions also this woman. I think her name was Korea? Or Korea? I'm not sure. But she mentioned someone's name. I believe it started with an S. And we see Koneko. So this woman is her sister. That was the big reveal in the episode. Overall, alright, I'm not going to go crazy and give it a 5, but I'm definitely giving it a 4.5, and I am saying this right now. This season of DxT, because you get the opening. I know this happens with a lot of animes. They spoil with openings. But this opening, threw a lot in my fucking face. Literally. It's like, hey, bitch. Fucking A. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. And that's apparently what it did. Because you see a huge fucking dragon in the sky. You see Issei fighting Vali in their dragon armor. You see, I think it's Issei, and it's just transforming and shit. I'm like, no, too much. Too much for my fragile little mind. A little Eric Carpenter there. But it really threw a lot. And I'm going to make a proclamation here. Best of the DxT so far. I truly believe this. Season 1 was very, very, of DxT. When you really think about DxT and the different seasons they've had. You had the original High School DxT, then High School DxT New, and now we have High School DxT Reborn. And in the first one, it was not really too serious. I mean, you did have the thing with Rias and getting kidnapped by Phoenix. But then Issei took care of it at the end. Hopefully I didn't spoil anyone with that. Then Season 2, last season, you had the whole thing with Kiba. And the demon swords. And heaven. And what happened. And what went down. And it was like, holy shit, what's going on? And then we had Vali fighting Issei. And it was revealed he's part of this group. Now, knowing that, you look at this season. Last season, in a sense, set up for this season. And what I was told by Crazy Man, shout out to Crazy Man, he knows his DxT shit, that something happens with Issei. Like he goes under some kind of holy shit training that makes him OP as fuck, supposedly. But for now, I will say this. This would be the best season of DxT. By far. It's true shit. There's no You can't make it up. It's the truth. But until then, no. Oh, there we go. Until then, I'm Bonkai922. I'll see you guys later. This thing is looking a little fritzy, but bear with me. That's all I got for you guys. I'll see you guys later. Best season of DxD. Hands fucking down. Peace.